we'll mix some of that in with the colour I just used on this lady here, and we'll pop that in as a subdued and quite dark flesh tone there and there on those two people. And that's probably enough for now, but I could just make without getting too fussy about it, make that little bit of hair that's poking out through the cap there a little darker. All right, so just going to clean my palette. So now we're going to go bright and cheery for the middle ground. So the first thing I'm going to do is, once I've got this brush very clean, just going to grab some lemon yellow. Might go a bit sort of greenish with a little bit of brown that's left in the palette here, but that'll be okay. So I'm going to go nice and bright for the illuminated area inside this hut. I'll leave a little couple of bursts of white to represent the strip lighting, but I'm not going to be too worried about that really. Grab some of the yellow ochre, touch of the burnt umber and mix that in. So although it's a brown, it's a fairly bright and cherry brown. I think we can keep that going across there. And yeah, I think, do I want any more? Yeah, I could probably put a bit up under here, couldn't I? Now, while I've got that colour on the brush, always a good idea to kind of look around and see where else you can use it. And nowhere in particular is jumping out, so I'm just going to add a bit of red to that mixture. And we'll give this guy or this person sort of reddish, yellow ochre reddish. Well, it's mostly red, isn't it? It's mostly a red top. But there's a touch of yellow ochre in there. I'm going to go with the orange next for the hat. Again, let's come out a little brownish because of the red. But it's a fairly realistic hat colour. And let's make this lady's bag a similar colour. And actually, while we're at it, we'll make the little pot containing the chips or whatever, potatoes, whatever she's buying, a similar colour. And then we'll go pure red. Oops, apologies for knocking the camera there. Let me just make sure you can still see what's going on. Yep, looks okay. Just using the corner of the brush. Give this guy's cap a little splash of colour, and I think it will work quite well. I think it'll work quite well to give that little bit of apron that's showing a similar splash of colour, and maybe a little touch under there as well. Now let's go back in with a nice bright blue for some of the... So let's go back in with a nice bright blue for some of this signage. And again, keeping that blue on the go. And then go mix some of that blue in with the red that I had before. We'll grab a little bit of the burnt umber just to darken the legs down here. And keep those legs the same colour. Now I think I want a nice pop of green close to that little area of red that I put for the guy's cap and apron. So I'm just mixing up a kind of leaf green. Whoops, down, I picked up a little bit of red there, so that's a bit annoying. Okay, so I've got a bit of an off green here, so what I'll do is I'll use that for this guy's bag. Here we go. So let's go with a little bit of purple now then. We haven't got too much of that in the painting at the moment. So I'm making it into a bit of an off purple, mixing it in with some of the other colours that I had before. We'll take just a touch of the red for this lady's scarf. Come back in a little bit of pale blue. Fill in her legs there, and then a little bit of burnt umber will give her some boots, some feet. This guy could do with some legs, and then we've got to put in the sort of rest of the cabin or some indication that there's a base to this thing. So we'll go back with a bit of the blue, but dial it down a bit by mixing in some burnt umber, so it's actually come out sort of a darkish, almost an indigo really. That's perhaps a bit, that's not too bad I guess. Could do with being a bit darker maybe. It's a little bit close in colour to that lady's legs. Hint at some lettering up here. Doesn't matter what it says really. Nice bright blue for the bag. And then I think I'm going to go with a darker green. So just mixing some of that blue I just used in with the leaf green from before. We'll use that over here as well.